I would say that you're right that we're not there yet, but I think we are closer. And I think the problem is twofold. One is just the reliability of the system. So like 10 years ago, it probably worked 1 in 10. And I would guess that it probably works for sort of regular lighting conditions about 7 in 10 now. And I think that if you are willing to put the time, if you know that you're going to have not classes of objects. I'm not going to try and recognize every chair in the world or every table, but this particular chair and this particular table and this particular mug, and you can control the lighting conditions. My guess is you can probably get that to work pretty reliably now, but there's not a lot of market for that because of the inherent variability. If I were to speculate wildly, I'd say 10 years from now, you can probably get a commodity box that will basically recognize a fixed set of known objects in arbitrary illumination conditions. And that might solve your problem. Whether that box contains 40 million things, that's a pretty big number. But I would guess that in your house, in the course of a few days, you could probably train the system up. I would say 10 years from now, commodity box.
Chris, would you like to add?
I think that's, yeah, I think I agree with the what's been said. I don't know if I have anything to add.
So I'll just add a little bit to that. One of the things that you might want to follow is the DARPA Robotics Challenge, which will happen, the finals will happen in, I believe, early June of 2015. And robots will be placed in unstructured environments and expected to perform tasks. And one of the challenges is going to be to do that under limited bandwidth. And so the ability for the human operator to provide full situational understanding is going to be very limited. So many of the teams that are competing in this area are trying to find the right combination between how the human can help the object recognition as much as it can without consuming too much bandwidth or too much time to perform the task. One of the big challenges in machine vision is not necessarily the object recognition itself. I mean, there's been tremendous advances there, and in a structured environment, object recognition works probably better than 7 out of 10 times. But one of the challenges, though, is putting those algorithms in different contexts or cluttered environments makes it very difficult. The way that you and I perceive the world is very much unlike the way that we're programming object recognition algorithms to work. The way that you and I perceive the world is very much dependent on context. Some of the work that Dieter Fox has done at the University of Washington has been to try to apply context to object recognition the way that humans do it as well. So I'd ask you to look into some of his work. I think we have time for one more question. I think the gentleman here in the back standing was looking